In February 1923, with the fleet just leaving the coast of Venezuela, more Japanese influence in South America has been detected. Ecuador appears to have been hosting some of the Japanese advisors that have fled from Venezuela and from Colombia during our previous operations. The government has decided that it is once again time to make sure that this ends and that the Monroe Doctrine is being respected, and as such has ordered the fleet to turn straight around and head towards Colombia for a second marine landing. At this point, we think that the relatively small country is weakly defended, and we will follow the successful Venezuelan model of installing an American military governor and to restore freedom and democracy and curb the Japanese influence. We will move the USS Mississippi together with Clemson and McDougall, who are on the way back to their Pacific ports, diverting into the coast of Ecuador, and that should do the trick. We have a couple more battleships ready that we can send as well. So this is not such a big operation. So we will probably send the Nevada and the Oklahoma over. So let's send these here as well. Nevada, Oklahoma, so New York and Texas can go into refit. And we'll give them one light cruiser and 2 destroyers as escorts. So we can move them over there. And then things should get underway relatively quickly. The political situation with Japan, with their continued provocations, is not great, but we're nowhere near open hostilities quite yet. These are just colonial political squabbles that are quite normal in these tense times. Of course, purely coincidentally, our economic advisors have pointed out that recently natural oil resources have been detected in Ecuador. None of this has anything to do with current political actions and military actions. After a short and sharp military action, the Ecuadorian resistance has been defeated, their elected president has gone into exile, and more evidence of Japanese subversion has been found on the continent. It is quite amazing what you find when you start actively go looking and when you start interrogating people. The American oil companies have immediately taken care of building up the industry in around the newly discovered oil fields in Ecuador, and the new leads from interrogating prisoners has led us further south. And it turns out that Chile as well has been infiltrated. The Chilean government vehemently denies this and insists on their independence, but the testimonies from various captives in Ecuador have clearly pointed out that Japanese operatives have been bribing the government and trying to agitate against the control of the United States of America. As you can see, this conspiracy goes further and further. So since we have the Marines ready, we will send them instantly south and take care of that government as well. And we'll just move the fleet as it goes. And we can include some more of the light cruisers and destroyers that were on a neutrality patrol in the Pacific as well. Denying the South American states for Japanese influence is crucial to our safety at home. That said, with all the new military governors in place, they demand that we provide more ships to control the outlying areas, which means we are at least going to need something that can do some mine laying. So for that purpose, it's probably a good idea to create a small and cheap mine-laying ship. The mine-laying submarines we can get cost, I think, about 26 million apiece. So given the economic strain, it's not a terrible idea to see if we can make that cheaper. So if we get the smallest destroyer hull that we can get, and we put the minimum displacement of 1,500 tons in there, and we call that the terror class of mine layers. They're going to get minimum bulkheads, minimum speed, because we don't really need any, minimum range, cramped crew quarters, the cheapest of everything that we can get, and they're only here for minesweeping. And we can probably, well, let's see what we can put onto them. So cheapest tower in the rear. We're going to put a couple of guns in there, and we can probably use them for anti-submarine duty as well. And we do need a funnel, so one funnel is clearly enough. There we go. We do need some guns, so let's use our trusty. Let's put a 5-inch single. Can we fit one in the front? Not actually. Maybe we'll just move that in the center a little bit, move the tower down, there we go. And then we put a single 5-inch in the front and a single 5-inch in the rear, there we go. We do need to put a torpedo launcher on there, so it's just a good old triple torpedo launcher. There, 7 million, we can work with that. And we are going to put 21-inch torpedoes. No, do I need a rangefinder? I don't think I do. Active sonar, mine laying. Do I need mine sweeping? How much? So it doesn't cost much, so I may as well put some depth charges in there. There, we got a very cheap, mine laying, well, frigate of some sort. So that's going to be the Terror class of mine layers, and they are really not expected to be doing anything fancy. So can we still reduce? Can we get the Can you get rid of the armor? Yeah, they don't need any armor. Let's get rid of the armor. And that further brings the price down. Can we get the turret armor gone as well? Because they are really not expected to do any kind of fleet duty. At best, they need to sail out and deal with marauding submarines, and for that, they should be well enough equipped with. But with that, we're down to 7 million cost, and I think I am happy with that. So with aptly named little Terror class, I'll save that design. And we can probably start with 10 of them. Yeah, that's fine. Let's get 10 of them going. We'll build more as we go. And I think I'm just going to enumerate these. So I will. The lead ship is going to be the Terror, but everything else is just going to be numerical. So I'm just going to give them numerical things here. That makes them a lot easier to distinguish what these were for. There we go. And yeah, financially, we're still not saturating our dockyards. The bigger problem is that we are building a fair amount of ships at this point. Some of them for our allies, for Sweden, and especially Sweden has put in some large orders. So once these orders are completed, and I think in 5 months we'll start with the first. We'll deliver the first ship in 2 months. Actually, we'll deliver the first ship to Sweden. Then our financial situation is going to get a little better. A significant Japanese battle fleet has been spotted in the South China Sea off the coast of the Philippines. So we will not let that provocation go unnoticed, and we'll get the fleet from Manila to sail out and as a show of force cross them, and we'll see what they can say about that if they see these incoming. Just have to make sure that they understand that this is American territory, and they cannot they cannot project their forces here unchallenged. Meanwhile, our financial situation is a little dire. We have, I think, a couple of ships coming in 2 months. We've got 2 light cruisers being shipped to Sweden in 2 months, and we've got a destroyer ship to Persia in 4 months. But with our current expenses, we may have to reduce our technology budget somewhat, just until the situation has normalized itself again. Upon seeing the American forces approaching, the Japanese fleet has retreated. We will make a point of sailing the fleet past Formosa, and then we will return to port. Just making a point here. Meanwhile, the operations in South America are proceeding as planned. We are 3 months away from deposing of the treacherous Chilean government, and already we have heard reports of Japanese subversive activity in Peru as well. It appears that most of the South American governments have been contacted by Japan at some point, and that a major plot to create a South American uprising and a collaboration or alliance with the Japanese Empire right at our doorstep was happening, and this is definitely not something we will be tolerating. I shall personally lobby the government towards stronger signals against the Japanese Empire to put them back in their place. After completing some sales to Sweden and receiving the payment, our financial situation has once again improved. Providing arms to the world is a lucrative endeavor indeed, and we can once again increase our budget for new research and new technologies. And we'll probably put it to 90%, so we have a little bit of a buffer towards some more refits, because I think we can already take on the next class of battleships. So we've done the New Yorks, and we probably want to do something about the Nevadas next. I think the Nevadas are currently all out in invasion duty. They're both, and they're going to be in invasion duty for a couple of months, but we can already. Well, we'll wait until they're finished with the current one, and then we'll create another refit design and get that underway. With our freedom operation in South America wrapping up, the Germans have begun an invasion of Bohemia. The German threat and the Central Powers threat in general in Europe is undeniable at this point. After 6 months of intense fighting, the last rebel forces in Chile have been defeated, and once again, the military administration of the United States has taken over temporarily until freedom and democracy can be restored. Our economic advisors are investigating what kind of programs can be launched such that American businesses will assist the country with improving their overall situation. The fleet is now moving up north towards Peru. With the situation in Japan deteriorating, we are going to start spreading out these mine layers, and I'm thinking to leave kind of like at least two in the main ports, and one in the more outlying regions here, just to make sure that in case of conflict we can mine our ports correctly. So we'll send 2 to Davao, 3 and 4. And then we'll spread the rest across the islands. We've got Guam here, and given that Guam is a critical outpost surrounded by Japanese forces, I'm probably going to send 2 there as well. So let's get 5 and 6 to Guam. And then we've got, I think, a couple more places to send. We definitely have to send some to Port Vila in Vanuatu. We can send 1 there, and we'll send probably the other 2 to Hawaii. So that would be 8 and 9, and then 8 and 9 to Pearl Harbor. Yep, let's send them there. Okay, so in case of conflict, we can mine the. We've got another one here. Yeah, we'll build a couple more of these things. They I'm gonna need more to secure that. So probably build me another 10 of those. Okay, and I'm just gonna again name them accordingly. With the Peru campaign in the mountainous regions expected to take longer than usual, we can end the episode with doing a redesign of the Nevada class. So let's see what we can do with this veritable old dreadnought. We are at this point technologically a little past this hole, but not yet feeling the modern battleship holes with Mark 1 16-inch guns at this point. Where are we at with the 16 inches, by the way? 16, yeah, we're still at Mark 1. We've got Mark 1 15s, Mark 1 16s. The big guns really are sort of our problem at this point. So I think I'm going to change also the research focus. But for now, let's see what we can do with the Nevadas. We've got oil. We might. We can put turboelectric engines into these things, but that's a 10% ship flaw. I don't think we will need that quite yet. We can get the armor improved, and that is definitely a good thing to do. So let's get everything improved here. And we already got Citadel 5, so that's good. We are definitely going to get rid of the casements here. So, am I not in? I am in refit mode. Why can I not change anything? Back. Oh, there we go. Okay, stuck there for a second. So let's get rid of the casement guns. They are way too heavy. We get rid of the torpedo tubes as well. And the forward casemates as well. Okay, there we go. So we've got, what do we got? 1445s, and we've got 10 of them. Let's see. Can we get a better forward superstructure? Primarily, can we fit that in there? We can indeed. So if we push that a little back, we have ourselves a nice refit, but I think the secondary tower is, yeah, it's going to stick with the cage masts. We do have balanced boilers available now as a technology, so let's see what that would look like if we put. Oh, this is the same problem again, that I can't fit 2 of these in, so I'm gonna have to put this funnel in there. Balanced boilers, not great. I think we're going to stick with the forced boilers here. That's ship flaws again, don't need that. We've got everything else. Standard ratio, double checking that I've done this right, because you know that happens at times. But let's see what the penetration of these things is. Let's see what we can do. Tube powder and TNT3. So let's get that updated. Better rangefinder. We can put a better hydrophone in there, I guess. Although I don't think we really need it on these. Radio direction finding would be probably good. So let's get that upgraded. And can we do something about the deck armor? Because it's a little on the wonky side. But first of all, we're going to need secondaries. So we've got the 5-inch Mark IVs. I think 5-inch was what we were generally going with, 5-inch triple barrels. Yeah, we've got some good placements for these. And we can still get maybe 2 turrets. 2 turrets there. Not forward. We could fit 2 more here. But I'm wondering if I have spaces for. I can put some of the 3-inch triples up here. In several places. This might not get in the way of things. Let's see. No, it gets in the way of this one. No, it doesn't. This one's got a terrible. It's got a terrible design anyway. So let's put 3-inch triples. Or can we put 2-inch triples on these? We can, but that's going to get in the way of the. That's going to get in the way of things. But here we can put. We can put 2-inch triples. Shall we just replace the 3-inchers with 2-inchers? 2 inches have like a really short range. The 3 inches are a little bit better. So let's put additional 5-inch turrets in the rear, because I don't really want these really old battleships to be fighting close range. So, and I think that's about as much as we can fit if we want to have any displacement left for any kind of armor improvements. So let's see if we can. I mean, the deck's not terrible. We've got a bit of a forward weight offset, so maybe we can just improve the aft deck a little bit. There we go. Can we get a bit more, especially on the deck, can we get a little bit more Citadel armor up? And see that we stay within displacement. So we don't have an awful lot of displacement left, but we may as well use it. See, okay, that's too much. And there we go. Perfect. Balanced ship, better secondaries, and better, just generally better engine spaces and everything. Protection upgraded, and that's a 9-month refit. Yuke. Okay, save the design, but it's probably worth doing. That said, I am really going to change the. The tech focus. And I think, what are we getting here? This is gun layout in general, but I really want to have. I think we're really starting to fall behind in the big guns department. So I'm gonna put a sort of permanent focus on this for now. This is gonna take time away from everything else, but I think we're good in all other departments really, and it's the large guns that are hurting us. Where are we? 8-inch Mark IIIs. Let's focus on the battleship caliber guns, because I feel like that's where we're behind. All right, and that'll be it for today. We are continuing our political domination of South America to kick the Japanese out and reduce their influence, and we'll try to keep our economy above water, and we'll see how the situation in Europe is developing. I think the Austro-Hungarians have taken they've taken Montenegro, and the Germans are about to take Bohemia Moravia. So politically, what does it look like in the world? Where's the most likely conflict? Japan is definitely, we're not fond of. The French neither, and the French have been causing some trouble recently. But Japan, in my opinion, is still the biggest problem. France and Italy look like they're heading towards conflict as well. So trouble is brewing in the world, and it shouldn't be too long until things come to a head and we're actually going to have to start using our navy.